On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we try to save a friend of mine $1,000 on a Mustang. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and today we are here with my friend Chris's 1994 Ford Mustang V6 convertible. And it's got a little bit of a problem. The deal is I just drove it in here and it smells like a rolling gas can, a literal gas can on four wheels. And it's not good. It's down on power, this thing. It's really hurting. Poor Mustang. And we're gonna see if we can save it today. So what happened is Chris took this to Meineke and he thought it was just like a coil pack or something that was bad. So he changed the plug, the number 6 plug, and he changed the coil pack. And it didn't fix the problem. There was still a nasty misfire on that cylinder. Well, Meineke diagnosed it and they found out it's a bad injector on number 6, which makes sense with the gas smell. So Chris and I went to O'Reilly's last night. We bought an injector. They said 202s were bad too. Check engine lights on. Of course the check engine lights on. The O2s were probably super angry with how much fuel, unburned raw fuel, is hitting those O2 sensors. They're probably trash at this point. So we grabbed O2s and we grabbed the injector and we grabbed intake gaskets, and our entire bill was $191 at O'Reilly's. So the Meineke quote, almost $1,500. Today, I'm gonna hop in here, pull the intake apart, change that injector, and hopefully fix that. But you guys, anyone who's ever dealt with a stuck fuel injector already knows what's wrong. The oil. The oil is full of fuel. Ah, yeah, the raw power contained in the Ford 3.8 liter V6. That's a joke, clearly. And we got a new water pump under here, it looks like. That tensioner looks like it's new. AC compressor's new. There's a lot of new stuff in here. Even that alternator looks new. I can see why he wants to save this. There's clearly been a lot of money in this. Someone's been taking care of it. And honestly, it looks pretty stock, other than the cold air intake too. So I'm with it. We're gonna save this thing. It looks like I'm in for an absolute nightmare. If you take a look at what's gotta come off here, fuel rail's right there, but the whole intake's gotta come off. Everything has to come out of there. We're gonna figure out how this happens. But first, let's check this oil out and see how flammable it is. All that extra fuel from a stuck open injector goes past the rings. First, it ruins the cylinder eventually. If you drive on that long enough, it wipes out the whole engine, because that cylinder will be permanently down, low compression back there, because it takes all the lubrication out of the cylinder. The gasoline does, it breaks down the oil, and then the piston keeps running and it just destroys the cylinder because there's nothing there to stop it. Then the oil thins out from the gas, and then the entire engine wipes out because the crank goes, because it can't properly oil the crank anymore, and that takes out the main bearings and it's over. So, you know, if you have a stuck injector, don't drive it far. That was my advice to him. He asked what it was gonna take, and I was like, you can probably drive it, but I wouldn't drive it more than like a mile. All right, I'm excited about this. We got some fire, didn't get a lighter. We got some better fire, and we've got a dipstick. Here we go. Well, that's not that bad. It is thin, and it smells like gas, but I mean, we've all seen worse. We've seen these things like a dipstick that's literally flammable. I guess we're doing all right on this gas-filled oil. It's probably not at the point of no return yet. I will say this is probably contributing to issues here. It looks like it's actually sealed up pretty well, this black tape, but that badly needs a silicone coupler on there. Because if it's leaking on the back side of the MAF, the engine is having issues metering how much air is going in there, and that's never ideal. So obviously I have to take this apart. Maybe we can grab a coupler from O'Reilly's to put this back together properly. So we got 100% Jake here. He's doing the magic behind the camera, and we are gonna do the magic right here, which is starting by removing the intake tube. So, oh, there's a bunch of sensors on there and stuff too. So we'll just pull until the tape comes off, I guess, or just, it's actually taped up really well. We have to basically disassemble this whole car. So we'll just start by removing all these connectors. And you kind of have to be nice about it. These vacuum lines need to come off of here. Got our throttle position. I think you're supposed to even remove the throttle cables and all this good stuff. Let's see. This one is, I think it's just pull straight up. There we go. That's one. There we go. Throttle cable removed. I guess we just pull the whole bracket at this point. Let's grab a 10. It looks like a 10 will go pretty far. Here's our tool bench right there. That's what that is. And that one's gonna be really hard to get to. That was very tight. All the cables are out of the way. Put every bolt back on this job because they're all different. Like almost every single fastener on this car is different, and I do not feel like mixing them up and losing them. This really doesn't take too long. It's just a lot of fasteners. And then I think it's just 4 10s and whatever that is, like a 15, and then maybe a 12. Like I said, every bolt's different. Once you've unplugged all of these solenoids, vacuum solenoids, EGR solenoids and stuff, it's time to drop all of these guys at once. It's just one big bracket. So again, put every bolt back. I would recommend it. And hopefully that's all I needed. Yeah. Okay, so that seems like it bought us a bunch of room. So what we're trying to access is this this EGR line down here. That's got to come off before the intake can come off. It's buried inside here. And of course it's always like rusted and a mess. Here, I'll pull these hoses off. There we go. That got everything out of the way. So there's that whole bracket. I'll put all the nuts back and hopefully we can get a wrench down in there and get that loose. So I did the fun part. It actually came apart. That EGR line never comes out of the intake. It always like the threads twist off or something. Luckily this car is really clean and it came apart. So I think we're ready to pull the intake at this point. Wow, those don't want to come out. What on earth? Maybe they're dissimilar metals and they froze together. All right, we're gonna get out the big Jake energy because we have found, I got one of these guys loose. This is approved? Okay. I don't know if it's moving or not. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for our safety and the safety of the viewers at home. Okay, that one worked. That one's good. One down. So that's how you remove your intake manifold from your Ford. Have some really big tools. I don't know if that was removed and somebody put it together like really poorly with maybe an impact instead of gently tightening them by hand. I mean, if you run them down on one or something with a baby, I get that, but don't do whatever happened to this engine. It has not been fun. There's one, look at that. Yeah. That's why they don't come out. Fully oxidized. After a lot of work, we have all the main fasteners out. We'll pull the last two 15s, and we just got that support off the side there that holds all the cables onto the intake. And this thing should come apart now. I think we're clear. Let's do these last two bolts. There's one and two. That's it. The intake moved a little bit, so yeah. All right, so we might actually have to pull all these out because they're kind of just holding us up, but at least they're easy to know where they go. We missed a hose. Let's see what this hose is. It's PCV, it's out. We're good. We got the intake, yeah! For some reason, this engine is like filled with sand, and I have no idea what's going on with that. What we're gonna do is throw the cordless vacuum down in there, and that should let us clean all the trash out of here before we drop any of it into the engine. So here we go. Honestly though, the gasket's in great shape. It weirdly came apart. You guys can see all the oxidization that was stuck in those threads on the intake. That was our problem right there. We'll put those back with like a dab of copper anti-seize or something. Just anti-seize in general. Should keep that from ever having issues again. That was definitely a nightmare. And I should probably grab this throttle return spring so I don't lose it forever. Jake's taking over, Gabe's supervising. So there's two, what are those, T30s? I think they're T30. Yep. T30 to pull the fuel rail, one there, and then you just kind of wiggle the fuel rail out. I can't talk.
Too many Whoppers.
Too many Whoppers. I'm eating all the Halloween candy right now. As you guys can see, it is obviously Halloween. Got the Skittles, got the bottle caps. It's going down over here. I'm feeling great about this. So fuel injector is coming out. You're about to get fuel everywhere.
Yeah.
Before Jake gets that fuel injector out and gets his face covered in gasoline, I figured I'd blow down the fuel pressure here. So here's our test port. And I can feel that rag filling with gasoline. Yep. You're good now.
I just realized why I'm struggling so much. We need to get this fuel pressure regulator. It's bolted to the back of the head.
Oh, and it's keeping it from moving because this is a hard line? Or is that rubber? That's rubber. Oh. It moves.
It moves.
Just doesn't move enough.
It's just not happy about it.
Yeah, it does not like that.
It's just hard to move.
Yeah, and we should probably get the connector off. And that should get the lock.
There
Nice.
you go.
And that should get the injector. Just a quick wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, I said just a quick wiggle, and then it didn't work at all.
Well, wiggle more quickly.
Yeah, that's right. Come on! I'm pulling as hard as I can.
So, built Ford tough, huh?
Built Ford tough. Jake's got a better angle than I do. He's got that.
Do I?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure you got that. Let me know. Hey!
There it is.
Ew!
I would say that's a problem injector.
Yeah, that's toast.
Disgusting.
Mmm. Gasoline flavored Skittles. Those are like the best ones, aren't they?
Are they high test?
Yeah, I think the red ones are gasoline. So we'll put that guy. Here's our testing system. We're gonna see if this injector is any good. So, a little battery power. Sounds like it runs just fine. But it sounds like it's starting to work better. Huh. Here's our new intake gasket. This is the Felpro 94046. And honestly, like, this job's gonna cost way less because we actually bought this gasket set too, and we don't need it. So this one's really cheap. I think that gasket set was like 50 bucks. So after we return that, he will have saved an outrageous amount of money. We got the injectors in. We did also test the number 5 one. Everything seemed like it was going very well with that. So there is our gasket. We're ready to put the intake back on. Here we go. Okay, the thing is, I can't see where we go, but it seems like it's about right there.
My way a little bit.
Your way?
Yep.
Okay, I got a connector under here that's like holding me up. There we go. That was pretty close. So I found the service manual PDF on the old interwebs, and it says 89 inch-pounds is the spec for these. So I should have went ahead and ran them all the way down with the impact, but we're gonna go ahead. Ooh, that was quick. Hits real fast. It says 89 inch-pounds and then 90 degrees, and I'm okay with that because I had like no torque on there. 89 inch-pounds is literally nothing if you think about that. Wow, that one's like, the threads in this one hate its life. That was one of the harder ones. So it's not even tight and it's hitting 89 inch-pounds. Wow. Okay, and now we got this one. Cool. And we'll switch to the 15s, or 15s for the outers. $104. All right, let's do this 90-degree angle. So I forgot how to switch this to angle mode. Been a minute. Set to 90 degrees. Wow, that's tight. Yep, it measures 90. You can pretty much just look at it. Let's see, it says 91. That 90 is like really tight. Now that the upper intake manifold's been torqued back to spec, all we have to do now is tighten down a couple more fasteners and plug in the throttle cable and stuff. So let's get to it. Tighten this guy. We've got the impact on the lowest setting here. Just a couple clicks to make sure that bracket stays in place. And now we just have to put the cable assembly back on, which is honestly one of the most fun and easy parts of this whole thing. Getting that bolt in there was actually a little bit of a pain, but there we go. That's on, and that bolts in. Snap these two on here. Open the throttle all the way. Easiest way to get that done. This thing's keyed. It's a square. Turn the square until it lines up about like that. Put the cable in place. Let the throttle blade close and snap this on. And tighten down the tins. And that is basically it. That one's actually a little hard to get to. I think I used an extension so I could offset the socket just a little bit. And we'll plug in this vacuum solenoid, give it some power, Give evap solenoid some power. That's it. This thing is ready to run again. Obviously we need this coupler, so what I'm gonna do is get rid of the MAF, and that solves that problem completely. So just pull. I had it. There it goes. Okay, now we'll have a default map to run on there, and intake air temp is actually correct. So let's start this thing up. Should be good to go. Oh, I guess we should hook the battery up. Seems like it cleaned up a little bit. The engine's not completely jumping around anymore. We got this thing running, and now we're gonna go ahead and do that oil change. Obviously, we gotta prolong this engine life. So it's time to throw this thing up in the air. And also, Chris has the silicon coupler for the intake, so he's gonna bring that over. So run this thing up, and the fun starts now. What you looking at? Oh, the engine oil?
Take the cap off so it drains quicker.
Ah, big brain moves.
Maybe. Why so many threads?
That's a lot of threads, Ford. All right, we are here at O'Reilly's to swap out the extra intake gaskets and everything and get some oil. You ready for this, Braden? 1994 Ford Mustang V6. First of all, how much oil do we need? And then what filter do we need? All right, thanks, bro. Yeah. We're out of here. So we drained the oil out of the Mustang, and of course it's generated some new oil as it's been driven. And now we'll just pour out the brown water.
I've never seen 0W0 oil before.
This is negative weight oil. It actually, anti-gravity is what's going on right now. I'm not holding the pan, I'm just guiding it. I told Chris he should probably sell this car at some point, sooner than later. Oh, are you shooting my mess? What happened? I made a really big mess. There was so much oil, it exploded out because it was basically water, and then it ran out so fast that I wasn't able to move the pan fast enough to catch it as it like drained back down, because the whole engine drained in like seconds. So we're going back with some new oil. It's gonna be better. Shop towel with the oil on it. That's not how you heat your house.
It smells like brain damage.
Well, the Mustang is ready to go back on the road. We got the oil change done, and I'm still cleaning up my oil spill underneath, but I'd say it's gonna run a lot better with some oil in there, and you know, maybe go up for sale. We also fixed the entire intake. As you can see, Chris had a coupler that he had bought for this thing, but it wouldn't go on down here where it needed to go. So what we ended up doing was moving it over there where it actually fit really well. It even has a little spacer in between there that let us put that together perfectly. And we moved that coupler down to here and got it all put together. So also the IAT was leaking, which was drawing air in past the MAF. So we fixed that too, little bead of RTV. Should work out. It was missing the inside nut that's supposed to be in there. So it's all back together. Hopefully it runs much better. Let's get this thing out of here. Yeah, buddy. Sounds good. Anyway, the Mustang is out of here. It is going home. That is it for today, guys. Jake, thanks for helping. It actually sounds like a beast for a V6, which is kind of funny. And I have a big mess to clean up. That's after cleaning a ton of it. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com where you can get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time.
This is part one of the ITB conversion, right?
Yeah. That's actually a good idea. That'd be the coolest Mustang of all time.
It would something.